How's it going, everybody? I have some more magic for you today with the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles set. As usual, I'm kicking off this new set with a pack opening video. I only managed to get a little more than 30 packs this time because it was such a short time period between the last set and this one, so I didn't save up gold for as long as I normally would have liked to. It seemed like this set got pushed forward, though I don't know exactly if that's the case. Either way, I'm going to go ahead and start with the first 10 here. It does mean this video will be slightly quicker, which I'm sure everyone will appreciate because these ones don't get a lot of views anyway, but it's really the easiest for me to do right away when a set releases and gives me an opportunity to kind of give an overview of the set and see what I think of a lot of the cards. I'm going to take just a second here, put some glasses on so that I can actually read most of these cards, and then we'll get right into this. Alright, we got our first batch here. Let's see what we got. Get all the way back to the beginning. We've got Michelangelo Game Master, 3-drop green common, legendary creature Mutant Ninja Turtle, 3/3, disappear. At the beginning of your end step, if a permanent left the battlefield under your control this turn, put a 1/1 counter on Michelangelo. Not a bad ability, and a 3-drop 3/3 is actually pretty okay, so this is a pretty good common, all things considered, I think. Purple Dragon Punks, 2-drop 2/2, Human Rogue, not bad overall either. Tap to add 1 red mana. This mana can only cast an artifact spell or to activate an ability. Interesting. I know artifacts are going to be really popular right now, especially like, is that artifacts? So I don't know how effective this card would be in particular. I don't think very, to be totally honest, but it's an interesting idea for sure. We've got Utrom Scientist, 3-drop 2/2. Stat-wise, already pretty bad because it's a 2/2 for 3 mana. When this creature enters, tap up to 1 target creature and put a stun counter on it. Overall ability's fine and what you'd expect from a 3-drop. I just think the power and toughness are kind of bad. It is an artifact creature, so maybe there's some kind of synergy there that you could work in with that would make it worth it. We got Primordial Pachyderm. It is a 4-drop 4/4. Stat-wise, that's pretty acceptable. It is an elephant avatar creature with reach and trample, and when this creature enters, you gain 2 life. Overall, not bad, actually. A 4/4 for 4 mana is pretty acceptable. It has reach and trample, which are good, and a life gain ability, so this is actually pretty decent, and I could see this being very, very good in draft scenarios, just because you get so much upside and a decent creature. We got another Game Master here. Omni Cheese Pizza is a 2-drop artifact food. When this artifact enters, draw a card, which is pretty decent on its own. And then you can pay 1, tap, sacrifice this, add 1 mana of any color so it can filter for you. Again, probably actually a fairly decent card for draft just because of the mana filtering ability. And then obviously with most foods, it has the ability to pay 2, tap, sacrifice, gain 3 life. We've got Action News Crew, 2-drop 2/2 Human Citizen. It has Vigilance, channel 6. Discard this card, put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control, and draw a card. So pretty good, actually. A 2-drop 2/2 with Vigilance is pretty acceptable on its own to begin with. And then if you get this late game, you can discard it to grow your board, which could be extremely relevant, so I don't hate it either. Most of the commons in this set, at least so far, seem way better than they normally do in each set. High Flying Ace, 3-drop 2/3 Bird Mutant. So this is a new bird creature. It's going to be helpful, I'm sure, in that archetype. Flying, and then pay 4, target creature without flying gains flying until end of turn. Activate only as a sorcery. That ability really is kind of lackluster, but you could easily consider putting this in a Momo deck to make this a 2-drop 2/3. Not terrible. Got some more Dragon Punks. We got Crustacean Commando, 2-drop Creature Crab Mutant Soldier. It's a 2-drop 0/3, which is actually pretty okay. When this creature enters, create a mutagen token, and a mutagen token is a token that you can pay 1, tap, sacrifice, and put a 1/1 counter on a creature. It can be any target creature, and it can only be done as a sorcery. As a whole, I don't think this is that bad, though. It generates a token for you, an artifact token, mind you, and it's a 0/3, so it's an okay blocker, so not the worst. We've got Zoo Escapees here, 2-drop 2/2 Boar Rhino. So this would already be good with the Zookeeper from the Avatar The Last Airbender set because it's 2 different creature types. When this creature leaves the battlefield, you also create a mutagen token, so it has upside on death as well. I think this is actually pretty decent. We've got Eastwind Avatar, 4-drop Bird Spirit Avatar. Interesting. Is a 2/4 with flying and vigilance and alliance. Whenever another creature you control enters, this creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn. I don't love it as a 4-drop. I think the flying and vigilance is good, but the ability is only until end of turn, so probably not my favorite. We've got Stockman Madfly Entist. Flyentist, yeah, because it's a scientist. That's a fly. Legendary creature, insect, human, scientist, 3/4, flying. When Stockman enters, draw a card, then discard a card, and it has island cycling. Just overall way too expensive. The island cycling could be good. The multi-typal abilities of this could be somewhere useful too. But in the end, it's like a 3/4 for 5 mana, which kind of sucks, so yeah. We got Pain 101, 2-drop instant. Until end of turn, target creature gains death touch, and when this creature dies, return it to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control. I feel like there's already a lot of 1-drop scam cards like this. They don't give death touch generally, but that being said, making it 1 more mana, not sure I care for it. Because it's already can be difficult if you like play a creature that you want to, let's say you're trying to invoke a creature and then do this to make it stay on the battlefield. Now you're making it a 4-drop cost to do that rather than 3. So, Mauser Mark III, 2-drop 2/3. It's in red or blue. This creature can't attack unless you control another artifact. Not terrible, actually. Being only a 2-drop, it's pretty acceptable. 2-drop 2/3 is good stat lines. And if you're playing this in like an Azet, or even just like a mono blue, any kind of artifacts, really, this could be very doable. Make your move, 3-drop instant, destroy target artifact, enchantment, or creature with power 4 greater. This is obviously a reprint. Nice art, though, I guess. We've got Null Group Biological Assets, 3-drop Mutant Mercenary. During your turn, this creature has first strike. Whenever this creature attacks, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. So more of the discard draw metric, same things with like Grand and such. As a 3/1, probably not great. Stat line's not great. It'll get blocked very easily. Don't love it. Got Foot Elite, 3-drop in black or white, 2/4, which is a pretty okay stat line for a 3-drop. Whenever this creature attacks another target creature you control, gains +1/+1 and gains indestructible until end of turn. That can be really good paired with pretty much any number of different things. Something with Mobilize, something with, I don't know, Trample even, something like that. Just something you don't want to die while you attack with this, and it's got okay toughness to probably survive as well against blockers. So pretty good, actually. Cowabunga, 1-drop green sorcery. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a Mutant Ninja Turtle or land card from among them and put the rest in your hand. Sorry, no, put it in your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. We saw a lot of cards like this in the last set that came out. So I guess this just is for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to be able to do that as well. Because we saw this with like the Kithkins and stuff like that as well. We got Mechanized Ninja Cavalry, 2-drop in red or white. It is a 1/1 robot ninja. And when this creature enters, create a 1/1 colorless robot artifact creature token. So it is a 2-drop that gives you 2 power, 2 toughness, but multiple creatures, which actually could be relevant. So I don't hate this. Usually, as long as the mana cost isn't, like, ridiculous, I'm pretty okay with commons that give you as much as you're paying. Let's see what we got here. Ragamuffin Raptors, a 5-drop 4/3, a dinosaur. When this creature enters, return up to 1 target creature or food card from your graveyard to your hand. I feel like that mana cost is just too much for that to really be viable. We've got Shredder's Revenge, 3-drop sorcery, choose one. Target player discards 2 cards, or target player draws 2 cards and loses 2 life. I think this is actually really good. This could play into a discard-focused deck, and also could just give you card draw, which could be really good too. So I don't think this is that bad, and I do plan on looking at discard in this set. Not just discard your own cards, but to make your opponent discard cards. I want to look at that. I haven't built one of those in a while, and I had a comment bringing it up recently as well. Manhole Missiles, a 2-drop instant. Manhole Missile deals 3 damage to target creature. You may put a card from your hand on the bottom of your library if you do draw a card. Interesting. So it can let you kind of do the draw discard thing, but instead of putting it in the graveyard, you put it on the bottom of your library, and just dealing 3 damage to target creature can in a lot of cases kill them, so not the worst. Got Mind Transfer Protocol, 3-drop instant in blue until end of turn. Target artifact or creature becomes an artifact creature with base power toughness 4/5, and you draw a card. Interesting. I think the mana cost is probably not good enough for this, and by that I mean I don't think it's fast enough to be in the artifact deck. Because if you're playing Simulacrum Synthesizer, you're going to be doing mostly 3-drop artifact cards, not necessarily instants and sorceries. And if you're playing a new Is That one, I don't know if 3 is fast enough with like the other options that you could have, so I don't know about it. We got Sewer Valence Cam. It is a 1-drop blue artifact with flash. When this artifact enters or leaves the battlefield, you may tap or untap target creature and pay 4, sacrifice this artifact, draw 2 cards. So when you sacrifice it to draw 2, it also gets the tap or untap effect, which is actually pretty good. I think this is a pretty decent 1-drop artifact, honestly. This could be very usable. Putrid Pals, 4-drop in black or green, Human Ooze Mutant. It is a 3/3 for 4 with Death Touch, and it has Disappear. This creature enters with 2 1/1 counters on it if a permanent left the battlefield under your control this turn. Not amazing. I think it's probably usable and would probably be totally fine in a draft situation. As a whole, I don't love it because it's just a 3/3. Could be a 5/5 for 4 mana with Death Touch. It's probably usable. I don't know that you'd want to do it in standard, but definitely, like I said, probably a pretty good card for draft. We've got Mutant Chain Reaction, 3-drop sorcery, destroy up to 1 target artifact, enchantment, or creature with flying, and create a mutagen token. As far as these types of effects go, 3-drop's about right, and you do get the mutagen token, which is new and could be useful. So I could easily see this being like a sideboard card in a like green-white token deck or something along those lines. Grounded for Life, 5-drop instant. The spell costs 3 less if it targets a tapped creature, destroy target creature. This is pretty acceptable. 2-drop destroy target tapped creature, so any attacking creature could be destroyed, obviously, as long as it doesn't have indestructible. So yeah, not terrible. This is probably usable, and again, would probably see play very easily in draft. Buzzbots, 2-drop artifact creature, robot insect. It is a 1/1. It has flying, vigilance, and when this creature dies, draw a card. Not bad. I feel like you'd want to go for a 1-drop flying thing that would give you something that you can like do your, I don't remember what it's called, but it's like your new ninjutsu ability or whatever. But flying and vigilance and upside when it dies is not bad. So I could see this being very, very easily playable, especially if you had any kind of way to make it discounted. I don't know that there is a way, but if it's possible, this would be great. We got Rock Soldiers, 4-drop, 4/3 elemental soldier creature. When this creature enters, destroy up to 1 target non-creature artifact. So that could be really effective too. Again, unless your opponent's doing a lot of, like, if they're doing the Is That artifact thing, then it's going to be mostly creatures. So this won't hit that. And as a 4-mana thing, a 4-mana 4/3 is kind of bad. Like, it's not the worst, but it makes it worse in like a draft scenario or something. We've got Ice Cream Kitty, 2-drop in black or green. It is a Food Cat Mutant. Artifact creature is a 1/3. And sacrifice another, you pay 2, sacrifice another creature or token, draw a card, activate only as a sorcery, or pay 2, tap, sacrifice this creature, and gain life. I actually don't think this is that bad. A 2-drop 1/3 has good enough stats to be warranted, not to mention it has upside of being able to draw cards for you, as well as gain life for you later down the road if you need it. Donatello Turtle Techie is a 4-drop 3/4 Mutant Ninja Turtle. When Donatello enters, if you control an artifact, draw a card. Probably pretty easily doable, especially with these like food tokens and all that kind of stuff. I mean, the card draw is nice. I could easily see this being used in a draft scenario just because you get the card draw off of it on its own, and it's a creature that more or less has the stats you'd want. So, probably okay. I don't know that it'll see a lot of standard play particularly. We've got Foot Mystic, 4-drop 2/4. Human Ninja Warlock has lifelink and disappear when this creature enters. If a permanent left the battlefield under your control this turn, create a 1/1 Black Ninja creature token. As a 4-drop, it's probably okay. I could see you definitely getting like that ninjutsu type ability or whatever to cause this to trigger as you play it out. For 4 mana, though, it's kind of expensive, so who knows. We've seen a lot of these. Frog Butler, I've seen this in the pre-release. I think this one's actually pretty decent. It's a 2-drop Frog Spirit. It's a 1/1 with Death Touch, and it can tap to add 1 mana of any color. This creature gains reach until end of turn if you pay 2 and tap it. If it was a 1-drop, I'd say it's probably a staple in most decks, as it's only a 2-drop 1/1. Makes me feel a little worse about it. You can give it reach, but so it's a little hard to say. I think you'd still probably be better off just running like a Llanowar Elf, though, since it's a 1-drop. Squirrelnoids, or Squirrelanoids. 1-drop 1/1 with Death Touch. I actually think that's totally acceptable. These little cheap 1/1 Death Touch creatures usually have some amount of viability. You could easily throw it in a draft deck. You could throw it into a poison deck, because we do still have poison in black-green. So yeah, or at least in any kind of green that has Death Touch to begin with. So probably usable in those use cases at the very least, if not just a good blocker to have if you need a budget blocker. Return to the Sewers, 4-drop instant. Target creature's owner puts it on their choice of the top or bottom of their library and create a mutagen token. Interesting. So you could use this to bounce like your opponent's creature when they're trying to attack with it or something along those lines, and then you get a mutagen token for it. Fair enough. 4-drop's a little expensive, but I could see this probably still being usable, especially in draft. Looks like this is actually going to be a really, really good draft set if I had to guess. We've got Saved by the Shell, 2-drop instant. This spell costs 1 less to cast if you control a turtle, which is pretty good, 1-drop. Put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. It gains trample, hexproof, and indestructible until end of turn. And there's a lot of turtle spells aside from just the new ones as well. So yeah, this is probably very usable and is basically just a snakeskin veil or something along those lines, as long as you have a turtle. Neutrinos, 4-drop. In Boros colors, 2/4 Elf Rebel. Interesting. Flying Alliance, whenever another creature you control enters, the neutrinos get +1/+0 until end of turn. Whenever the neutrinos attack, exile up to 1 target creature you own, then return it to the battlefield under your control, tapped and attacking. Interesting. I don't actually think this would go well in like an Arabella deck, because you wouldn't get like multiple ability triggers off of Arabella, say for example, if it's what you blank. So yeah, no, I don't actually like this one at all, personally. I don't know what you would use it in, but I don't think it's good in anything that I can think of off the top of my head. Tainted Treats, we've got Golgari, colors here, instant destroy target artifact or creature. If its mana value was 4 or less, create a food token. I actually think this is pretty okay. It's not as good as, say, for example, the same mana cost card that like destroys all copies of the same name thing. I think it's Maelstrom Pulse. But I could still see this being absolutely usable. Totally usable in draft. 3-drop's a little too expensive in standard for removal, but it has some upside to it still, so maybe. Got Ray Fillet. Man Ray is a 4-drop 3/3 fish mutant legendary creature, flying, and when it enters, create a mutagen token. Pay 2, remove a 1/1 counter from a creature you control to draw a card. I think this is pretty bad. It's a 4-drop 3/3 with flying, which isn't bad on its own inherently. But just paying a lot of mana to draw extra cards while removing tokens and getting mutagen tokens and all that kind of stuff, I feel like it's going to be overall too expensive to actually be viable in Standard, and maybe not even really viable in Draft for that reason. We've got April, Reporter of the Weird, 3-drop 2/2 human detective. Whenever April deals combat damage to a player, draw that many cards, then discard a card. Not terrible. You get your draw discard effect if you have a means of getting it in. It's in blue though, so you could probably tempo, especially with like tap untap or bounce effects. So probably usable, and if you're trying to go for card draw, it's okay. It's still a 3-drop 2/2, which I think holds it back a lot. Got Shredder's Technique, 3-drop sorcery. It has Sneak 1, so Sneak is that pseudo ninjutsu effect I've been talking about. You may cast the spell for 1 black if you also return an unblocked attacker you control to hand during the declare blocker step. So this is before your creature gets to deal damage, but if you want to destroy target creature or enchantment, and if an enchantment was destroyed this way, lose 2 life, for 1 mana, you can absolutely do that. So I think this is actually really good. It could be potentially a really good 1-drop removal. It is a sorcery speed removal, which hurts it, but the fact that you can get it out for 1 mana means that it probably has some amount of viability for sure. We've got Casey Jones, Jury Rig Justicar, yeah, I think that would be Justicar. 2-drop 2/1 human berserker with haste. When Casey Jones enters, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal an artifact card from among them and put it onto the battlefield. Put the rest on the bottom in any random order. I'm not a big fan of these type of effects, but it is a 2-drop haste 2/1 creature, so maybe it would be good in some kind of a red aggro scenario, whether that be Rakdos, mono red, what have you. 1 toughness kind of sucks, but again, it does have haste, so maybe you still get in and get some use out of it. Brilliance Unleashed is a 6-mana sorcery, which is pretty expensive. You choose 1 or both abilities. Brilliance Unleashed deals 5 damage to target creature, so it's removal in that way. Or choose target artifact card in your graveyard, return it to the battlefield if it's an artifact creature card, otherwise return it to the battlefield, and it's a 3/3 robot artifact creature with flying if it wasn't already. So that's actually pretty good. Very expensive though to get the value out of this, so I don't know if it'll see a lot of play just because it's such a late game play. We've got Fugitive Droid, a 1-drop 1/1 robot scientist. This creature can't be blocked if an artifact entered the battlefield under your control this turn, and you can pay 1, sacrifice this creature, counter target spell that targets an artifact or creature you control. I mean, definitely some viability there. A 1-drop 1/1 creature that basically can't be blocked ever in the artifact deck means that this could just, never be blockable. It's not going to do much for you more than just 1 point of damage repeatedly, though, unless you decide to counter something that would target one of your more important creatures. So there is a use case for this, definitely, though, especially in a budget build of some kind. Hard 1 Jite is a 2-drop artifact equipment. Equipped creature has double strike and an equip for 2, 2-drop play, and then an equip for 2. It's not the cheapest in the world, but it's also not extremely expensive, so this is probably usable, quite usable as a matter of fact, and it could bring back, it makes me want to build artifacts again, like as far as equipment, because we still have Cloud and other things like that in Standard, so this makes me want to try and build that again. We've got General Trag, Heart of Stones, 5-drop in red, legendary artifact creature Elemental Soldiers, a 4/3 with trample. When General Trag enters, you may sacrifice another artifact. When you do, General Trag deals 4 damage to target creature. It looks like this only triggers once, so as a 5-drop, I actually think this is pretty bad. We've got Lita, Little Orphan Amphibian, is a 2-drop 2/1 Mutant Ninja Turtle. It is a legendary creature and alliance. Whenever another creature you control enters, choose one that hasn't been chosen this turn. Put a 1/1 counter on Lita, create a food token, or scry one. I think this is very usable. The fact that it could grow, the fact that it can create food tokens for you, the fact that it can help you look at the top of your library, that's really good in a lot of different situations. I could see you using this with Moon Shadow. I could see, you know, there's lots of different viability there. I think this is actually a really, really good one, especially for an uncommon. I could definitely put this in a deck or two. We've got Donatello's Technique, a 3-drop sorcery with Sneak 1, so you can get it for 1 blue mana. Draw 2 cards. Very viable. Yeah, just get a little 1/1 creature out, something like Spyglass Siren, something like that. Sneak this in for 1 mana, then you get recurring use off of your creature that you sent back to your hand, as well as drawing 2 additional cards. So good in draft, absolutely, probably very usable, even in just regular standard. So not bad at all. We do have rares to get into here, so let's see what we've got. Improvised Arsenal, 2-drop artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +1/+0 for each artifact you control, which is pretty great, actually. Equipped creature, let's see, create token that's a copy of this equipment for 5 and equipped for 1. So it's a 2-drop cast and an equipped for 1. Yeah, doing a like a Boros equipment deck, I think I'm going to have to look into that again because this is looking fun. We've got Chrome Dome, a 2-drop. I know I've seen this one used quite a bit, so I'm pretty happy to get it. It's a 2-drop 1/3 robot ninja. Other artifact creatures you control get +1/+0, which is silly. 5 mana, create a token that's a copy of another target artifact you control. That token gains haste. Sacrifice that at the end of the beginning next end step. Yeah, really, really good. In fact, I can see why people were using this, so I'm pretty happy to have gotten one. Michelangelo's Technique, a 5-drop sorcery with Sneak 4, so not really a big discount there either way. Look at the top 8 cards of your library, put up to 2 creature cards with total mana value 6 or less from among them onto the battlefield, and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So this is almost like a cheaper Smuggler Surprise for that Sneak, which isn't terrible. This actually could be pretty viable. Sally Pride Lioness Leader is a 5-drop cat mutant rebel. And when Sally Pride enters, create X 2/2 red mutant creature tokens, where X is the number of non-token creatures you control. Whenever Sally Pride attacks, put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. This could be interesting in a cat deck. I don't know that it's absolutely perfectly synergistic with it, but it's very interesting nonetheless. Because we do still have Arabo and other things like that. This synergizes more with like non-token creatures, but you can still get a lot of non-token creatures in that deck. Krang Mastermind is a 8-drop 1/4 Utrom Warrior. I've seen this one be absolutely silly in that sort of like Boros artifacts deck, and it's because it has affinity for artifacts. You can get this out super, super early. When it enters, if you have fewer than 4 cards in hand, draw cards equal to the difference. And it gets +1/+0 for each other artifact you control. So yeah, this thing's absolutely silly. I would definitely like to see getting a few of these. I'll go ahead and mention too, one card that I am really looking to get is Kitsune's Revenge, because I love playing Dimir Mill. It's one of my decks that I play pretty regularly and usually make new iterations of, and that deck looks silly too. We've got Ravenous Robots, a 2-drop 2/1 robot. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, create a 1/1 colorless robot artifact creature token, pay 1 and tap, create, or creature tokens you control gain haste until end of turn. So this thing's huge. Could already make a lot of creatures, can give them haste, and is pretty good on its own. So yeah, this thing's pretty crazy too. We got Splinter Radical Rat, 3-drop in Orzhov colors, black or white basically. It is a 2-drop for 3, or 2/4 for 3, which is pretty good. If an ability of a ninja creature you control triggers, that ability triggers an additional time, and you can pay 2 with blue being the other cost to target ninja can't be blocked this turn. You could do this in Dimir or even in some other kind of combination, because that doesn't have, it could put it in Esper very easily. Interesting. I don't know what I would build around this specifically, but it is very, very interesting to see. And you could even ignore that target ninja can't be blocked ability potentially too. We've got Taka and Razar, or Razor, Terrible Twos. I remember these two from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie that was out when I was little. There's a 2-drop 3/2, which is actually really good to begin with. Turtle Wolf Mutant, so it's giving them both of the creature types. It can't be countered, which is actually really nice too. It has Menace. It is a legendary creature, so you'll only have one out on the battlefield at a time, but it could be played in mono black, mono red, or Rakdos. Whenever a player casts a spell, if the amount of mana spent to cast it was less than its mana value, Taka and Razor deal 3 damage to that player. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Kind of literally directly combats things like Evoke. So, very cool. We've got Splinter's Technique, a 4-drop, search your library for a card, put that card into your hand, then shuffle, and you can sneak it out for 2. I don't love it. I don't love tutor effects to begin with because they can be a little short, but this could end up being really useful in some kind of a combo deck. And then April O'Neil Hacktivist is a 4-drop 1/5 human scientist legendary creature. At the beginning of your end step, draw a card for each card type among spells you've cast this turn. I'm sure there's some kind of a Cascade or Storm deck that you could do with that, but I don't personally like the stat line per mana cost on this card, so I probably wouldn't use it. Anyway, there's our first 10. Let's hit up another 10. Go ahead and head back to the beginning of the packs here. What we got here? Leonardo Big Brother is a 3-drop 1/3 Mutant Ninja Turtle. It has Sneak for 1, so getting this out for 1 could be okay. Leonardo gets +1/+0 for each other creature you control. Potentially could be really good in a token deck or something along those lines where you end up populating and going really wide. We've got Nobody in Izet colors, 3-drop 3/2 human hero artifact creature. When this creature enters, return up to 1 other target artifact you control to its owner's hand. Could be good if you want to keep replaying things frequently to get more triggers. We've got Rocksteady Crash Courser is a 6-drop 7/7 mutant rhino. Rocksteady can't be blocked by more than 1 creature, and boars you control can't be blocked by more than 1 creature, and it has forest cycling. So there's not really any way to discount it, I see, but could be interesting in some type of a zoo deck, like I was talking about, something that really plays off of having multiple different creature types for animals like boars and things like that, because that zookeeper from Avatar would still be really good with this sort of thing. And it can help you with mana fixing early because of the forest cycling, so who knows. We've got Tunnel Rats, 2-drop 2/2 rat creature. If you pay 5, return this card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. So kind of like a zombie rat. I think it's pretty terrible. I would not use this. Bot Bashing Time's a 4-drop sorcery. Bot Bashing Time deals 6 damage to target creature. If that creature would die this turn, exile it instead. Really high mana cost, but does do a lot of damage. Would most likely be the type of removal you'd want to use in draft. Insectoid Exterminator, a 3-drop 2/2 insect human, or insect mutant, I should say, sorry. Flying, and it has Disappear. At the beginning of your end step, if a permanent left the battlefield under your control this turn, you may scry for 1. I think it's pretty expensive for a 2/2. It does have flying, so maybe there's some value there. Got Mauser Attack, 2-drop instant, choose 1, create a 1/1 colorless robot artifact creature token, or target creature gets +3/+0 and gains first strike until end of turn. Probably a very usable combat trick in draft. I don't think it's very good for standard personally, though. We've got Bebop Warthog Warrior is a 5-drop 5/4 boar mutant warrior, has swamp cycling and menace, and rhinos you control have menace. So this synergizes very, very well with the forest cycling guy we just saw. Foot Ninjas, a 6-drop 5/5 human ninja. You can sneak it out for 4, and when this creature enters, you gain 3 life. I still think that's pretty bad for how expensive the mana cost is, even for the sneak. I guess a 4-drop 5/5 isn't the worst thing in the world, and it has upside on cast, but it still seems really, really expensive to me. We got Stomped by the Foot here, 2-drop instant with a kicker, sacrifice an artifact or creature, so sacrifice synergy spell. Target creature gets -2/-2 until end of turn. If the spell was kicked, that creature gets -5/-5 until end of turn instead. Pretty good, actually. I have been recently playing quite a bit of my Goblins deck that plays with Sephiroth and has a sacrifice synergy. This could fit in that very easily. It's pretty good removal. It's a removal that hits things like Tyvar and gets rid of it, or that elf that's a tap creature. So I could see this absolutely being usable even if you don't use the kicker cost. Zog Triceraton Castaway is a 5-drop 5/4 dinosaur soldier with reach and trample. When Zog enters, target creature can't block this turn, and it has mountain cycling too. Not as synergistic as the other two that we saw, because it doesn't do anything for boars or whatever, or rhinos, I guess. But interesting still nonetheless. Really expensive though, also. So again, unless you're using this like in a capacity where you're also mana fixing for draft or something, I don't think it's very good. Won't see standard play in my opinion based on that. We got Retro Mutation, 3-drop enchantment aura with flash. Enchant creature. Enchanted creature is a turtle with base power and toughness 0/1. It can't attack and loses all abilities. So we've seen lots of these types of effects. It does have flash, so you can hit your opponent with it on their turn. It's kind of expensive as a 3-drop though in my mind. We've got Guac and Marshmallow Pizza. Is a 1-drop flash artifact food. When this artifact enters, target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn, and untap it. Pay 2, tap, sacrifice this artifact, you gain 3 life. The fact that this has flash and it's only a 1-drop is pretty interesting, actually. So it's a combat trick as well as a food. There's some value there for sure. We've got Mauser Foundry. I don't think I saw this one earlier. 2-drop artifact. When this artifact enters or leaves the battlefield, create a 1/1 colorless robot artifact creature token. Pay 5, sacrifice this artifact. It deals 3 damage to target creature. As a 2-drop 1/1 token creature, maybe there's some viability there. The pay 5 to deal 3 damage is not great though, especially since it only hits creatures, so you can't use this as like a really late win con. We've got the Anchovy and Banana Pizza here. Is a 4-drop in black artifact food. When this artifact enters, destroy target creature. So if you really need a 4-drop kill spell, this could do it, while also having the offset of being able to potentially gain you life when you sacrifice it. I think it's really expensive though, and probably not worth using unless you're in a draft. We've got Splinter Hamatoyoshi. Is a 2-drop 1/3 mutant ninja rat legendary creature. It does have sneak for 1, and it gives other ninjas you control +1/+1, and has menace. This is pretty good. You would use this if you were going to do a ninja tribal deck, which you could very easily do in like a Dimir build, especially since there's Kaito and the what is it, Ley Line of Mutation, I think. I don't know. Anyway, this is very usable, especially since you could potentially get it as a 1-drop. Even if you didn't, a 2-drop is not hard to get out for that +1/+1 to all your creatures. We've got Courier of Comestibles? I'm not sure what that word is. Anyway, 2-drop human citizen creature, 1/2 power and toughness. When this creature enters, you may search your library for a food card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. If you don't put a card into your hand this way, create a food token. So, I mean, if you really wanted to fetch like an Anchovy Banana Pizza for a removal spell or something along those lines, you could do so. It has some interesting synergies with these pizza cards and such, but I don't think I would use it personally. We've got Quintessential Katana, a 1-drop in white artifact equipment. I'm loving all the equipments I'm seeing. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 and has whenever this creature deals combat damage. Untap it and you gain 2 life. Whenever a ninja you control enters, you may attach this equipment to it, and otherwise it has an equipment cost of 2, which is still very, very cheap actually, which isn't bad. We've got Wingnut Bat of the Belfry, a 2-drop 1/2 Bat Mutant legendary creature with Alliance. Whenever another creature you control enters, Wingnut deals or gains your choice of flying, menace, or haste. Until end of turn, whenever Wingnut attacks, each other attacking creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn. This could potentially be used in an Arabella deck. I could see that working. That Alliance ability works really, really well with that. And in my experience, normally the Arabella deck has the functionality of doing the +1/+0 after Arabella's ability triggers. So yeah, this could fit in there. I could see that. New Generation's Technique 4-drop sorcery does have a sneak cost of 3. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards. Put them onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Not bad overall. Attack with something that you can get back really easily, maybe like a 1-drop with Death Touch, something along those lines. Sneak it in, be able to go and fetch 2 more lands. This could even be really good in a landfall deck, for example. Something like attacking with your Badger Mole, it not getting blocked because your opponent not having any creatures yet, and then you using this with sneak cost to go get 2 more land and then replay Badger Mole. This is very viable. We've got Shredder's Armor, 2-drop artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +2/+1. And when this equipment enters, attach it to target creature you control. It also has an equip cost of sacrifice another non-land permanent. Activate only once each turn. This could be really, really good in a sacrifice synergistic deck. Something that is like Orzhov, Mono Black, Rakdos. Yeah, this could be very, very usable. Death in the Family, a 2-drop instant. Exile target creature with mana value 3 or less. Honestly, not terrible. 2-drop removal is really good. Exile effects are fantastic. I already know I could put this in my Exile deck. I have a Mardu Exile deck that I like to play. And this would fit in it fantastically. Sorry, my cat was trying to step on my keyboard. But yeah, so... Oops, is Death in the Family. I could definitely use this, though, 100%. Venus Torn Between Worlds is a 5-drop 5/5 mutant frog turtle. It's a weird combination. Whenever Venus is dealt damage, put that many 1/1 counters on her. She must survive the damage to get the counters. When a creature you control with a counter on it deals combat damage to a player, you may pay blue. If you do, draw a card. I actually think this is a really good card. It's very expensive, which makes it probably not viable for Standard, but in a draft, this thing could be a huge bomb. We've got Dimensional Exile, 2-drop Enchantment Aura. Enchant basic land you control. When this enchant aura enters, exile target creature and opponent controls until the aura leaves the battlefield. So we've seen this type of effect before as well. There's things like Buried in the Garden, stuff like that that does this exact same thing, but you enchant your land and then exile a target creature specifically under it. So yeah, not bad. Good enough reprint, I suppose. We've got Baxter Stockman, 5-drop in Azette colors, human scientist, 3/3. When Baxter Stockman enters, create a 1/1 colorless robot artifact creature token. At the beginning of combat, on your turn, target artifact creature you control gets +3/+0 first strike and vigilance until end of turn. It's kind of a mouthful. I don't think you're going to use this in Standard, maybe in a draft situation if you're trying to intentionally build that sort of Azette artifact deck for draft. You might use this in that. Do have our rares here we can start getting into. We've got Does Machines, 2-drop. When this class enters, mill 2 cards, draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards. You can pay 2 to level it up to level 2. When this class becomes level 2, return up to 2 target artifact cards from your graveyard to your hand, and then pay 5 to level 3. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put 3 1/1 counters on target artifact you control. If it isn't a creature, it becomes a 0/0 robot creature in addition to its other types. I feel like I probably wouldn't use this one specifically, but it is cheap enough to probably get into. But it seems to kind of flip back and forth between the kind of draw discard effects that you would want and an artifact deck, which is not usually super synergistic with each other. Got Renee or Renette, Temporal Apprentice, 5-drop in blue, 4/3 human wizard. It does have flash. When it enters, return each other non-land permanent that entered this turn to its owner's hand. So you can wait until your opponent goes big with something in probably some type of blue counter or control oriented deck, and then as soon as they finish entering everything on their battlefield, potentially to attack like a token deck or something like that, you play this, bounce everything back to their hand, or if they're tokens, just wipe them out completely, and then you have a creature to attack on your turn. So definitely use case possibility here, maybe even a decent sideboard card. We already saw the April O'Neil Hacktivist. We've got Underworld Breach, 2-drop enchantment. This one is not legal in Pioneer or Traditional Pioneer, it says. It says you may escape this card from your graveyard for its escape cost. Okay, enchantment. Each non-land card in your graveyard has escape. The escape cost is equal to the card's mana cost plus exile 3 other cards from your graveyard, and at the beginning of your end step, sacrifice this enchantment. I'm familiar with escape cards because I play a couple of them in Brawl often enough. I don't know if this, it says it's not legal in Pioneer or Traditional Pioneer. I feel like this also would not be a standard legal card, but I could be wrong there. Leonardo Cutting Edge, 2-drop a 1/1 Mutant Ninja Turtle. Legendary creature, has a sneak for 1, lifelink, and whenever you gain life, put a 1/1 counter on Leonardo. I think this is fantastic. This is absolutely going to be something you'll see in a life gain deck. Mono white life gain, super popular. This fits in it just absolutely perfectly. We've got Ninja Teen, 3-drop black. Whenever a creature you control leaves the battlefield, each opponent loses 1 life. Really nice, actually, if you're playing some kind of a sacrifice deck, especially since if you're playing a sacrifice deck and someone does something like, say they play Rest in Peace, now all of your sacrifice triggers become exile effects and they don't trigger on death. This says whenever it leaves the battlefield, so you'd still get the value even if it is exiled instead of dies. So very neat. For 2 mana, creatures you control get +1/+0 and have menace. That's not bad either. And then for 1 mana, creature cards in your graveyard have sneak 4. Okay, you may cast creature spells from your graveyard using their sneak abilities. I think this is actually really, really good. It is extra expensive, but I could see this really easily fitting into a sacrifice-oriented deck and being very good. Dawn and Leo Problem Solvers is a 5-drop in Azorius colors, is a 4/6 legendary creature. Mutant Ninja Turtle has vigilance. At the beginning of your end step, exile up to 1 target artifact you control and up to 1 target creature you control, then return them to the battlefield under their owner's control. So this is very bounce-oriented. Could go good, though, with the Aang Avatar and Appa and Aven Interrupter, things like that, potentially, maybe. Got Turtle Van, 3-drop artifact vehicle. Whenever this vehicle attacks, put a 1/1 counter on target creature that crewed it this turn. Then if that creature is a mutant, ninja, or turtle, double the number of 1/1 counters it has on it with a crew of 1. 3 cost isn't overly expensive, but I also still don't see this probably getting a lot of play. I don't know that I would use it in anything off the top of my head right now. We've got another Krang, which is really good. This is a great card. We've got Rat King Verminister. Interesting. 2-drop 1/1 legendary creature rat avatar. Are we seeing a resurgence of rats possibly? Also, I love this art. Has disappeared at the beginning of your end step. If a permanent left the battlefield under your control this turn, create a 1/1 black rat creature token and put a 1/1 counter on Rat King. Interesting. Tap, sacrifice 3 rats, return target creature card and all other cards with the same name as that card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Interesting, very interesting. And this is pretty cheap too. This definitely makes me want to potentially go back into Dimir Rats or something, which is a very fun deck archetype. And this could play into it so well, especially as a 2-drop. We've got Splinter of the Shadows, 4-drop, but it's also let's see. Legendary creature, Rat Warlock, 3/4. Whenever Splinter attacks or blocks, other rats you control get +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the number of rats you control. At the beginning of your end step, you may mill 4 cards. If you do, return up to 2 rat cards from your graveyard to your hand. If this is also a standard legal card, it pairs very well with the Rat King and that sort of stuff. Now I want to build a rat deck. Probably Demir Rats, because that's still pretty viable in Standard. And then we got a Mythic Wild card, which isn't the worst thing ever either. Alright, let's see what the next 10 has for us. We're actually almost through them all this time. Looks like we do still have some more new common and uncommon cards. Mutant Town Musicians is a 3-drop 2/4 mutant bard performer, not bird performer. Trample with Alliance. Whenever another creature you control enters, this creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn. As a 3-drop 2/4, and the Alliance ability is not great. Does have Trample, probably very usable in draft. Probably best use case for it that I could think of. Uneasy Alliance, 2-drop enchantment aura, enchant creature. Enchanted creature can't attack or block. You can pay 5, sacrifice this aura, exile enchanted creature, and you create a 1/1 black ninja creature token. Activate only as a sorcery. Again, probably fantastic in draft and standard. I think there are just better removal options unless you're playing an enchantment deck, because mono white enchantments and stuff is viable, so maybe there's some use case there. It is only a 2-drop, but I don't know about it. We've got a reprint of Negate, counter target non-creature spell. That'll obviously see play because it's just a reprint. Make your move, another reprint. Jenica Bad Apple Big Sister, 5-drop 3/3 Mutant Ninja Turtle legendary creature. When it enters, create a 2/2 red mutant creature token, and it has plane cycling. I think this is pretty bad among these types of creatures as a 6-drop 3/3, even if you get a 2/2. Yeah, or 5-drop, but still, yeah, I'm not a big fan. We've got Raphael Tough Turtle, 2-drop 1/3 Mutant Ninja Turtle legendary creature. Alliance, whenever another creature you control enters, Raphael deals 1 damage to target opponent. That's not bad. I could see this potentially making it into an Arabella type deck as well, especially since we have like Shocking Sharpshooter, but this is basically just the exact same ability. So you could slip like one of these in there or something, because it is legendary. We've got Hamato Guardian Stance, 1-drop instant, target creature gets +1/+3 and gains flying until end of turn. Could be really good if you need flying to fight something that you know your opponent is going to be doing. So especially could be useful in draft. Otherwise, I'm not a big fan of combat tricks, so I probably wouldn't use it in standard. We've got Punk Frogs, 5-drop 4/5 frog mutant rebel creature with Ward 3. Pretty expensive for a 4/5, but Ward 3 is pretty nice. I could see it being very annoying in draft. Again, otherwise, I don't necessarily know that I would see it used in standard. We've got April O'Neil, Kunoichi Trainee, 2-drop 2/2. Legendary creature, human ninja. When April O'Neil enters, scry 2. April O'Neil can't be blocked by creatures with power 3 or greater. So it has that amount of survivability that you'd normally get from like seeing Delny or something. So interesting. I don't know that I would use it. Mutant Town Musicians. Did I already see these? Mutant Bard Performer. I did, didn't I? Okay, we'll move on. Tenderize, 2-drop instant. Target creature you control deals combat damage equal to its power to target creature an opponent controls. It isn't just technically combat damage, but it deals damage equal to its power to target creature. Pretty good as far as like a fight spell that doesn't require your creature to actually be in danger. Really good for those sorts of decks where you want to play like a death touch creature and then have it like ping something for 1 and kill it. So not the worst thing in the world. We've got EPF Point Squad, 3-drop in Boros. Human soldier creature, 2/1 Alliance. Whenever another creature you control enters, put a 1/1 counter on this creature. I wouldn't put it in an Arabella deck. Maybe it has a good place in like a token deck or a 1/1 counter style deck. Hard to say though. We've already looked at Jenica. We've got Ooze Spill, 3-drop instant, counter target spell, create a mutagen token. Not bad. 3-drop counter spell isn't the worst. It is just a flat out counter, not something your opponent can pay to undo. And you get upside as well, so not the worst. The Last Ronin's Technique is a 4-drop instant with Sneak 2. Create 3/1/1 White Ninja Turtle Spirit creature tokens. If this spell's sneak cost was paid, they enter tapped and attacking. This is pretty good, actually. I don't have a problem with this at all. You get 3/1/1 Ninja Turtle Spirit tokens for 2 mana, essentially, as long as you attack with something that you don't mind to bounce. Yeah, this is very usable. And it's not a rare, which is fantastic, too. We've got Dream Beavers, 1-drop 1/1 Beaver Nightmare. It has flying, and when this creature enters, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life, and you get to scry for 1. This is a ideal target for Sneak or Ninjutsu. So, yeah, I will get a full playset of these and probably play them in any of those types of decks. We got Skateboard, a 1-drop artifact equipment. When this equipment enters, tap target permanent. Equipped creature gets +1/+0 and has haste, and it's an equip for 1. So, not the worst. I don't know if I would use it necessarily in that Boros equipment deck that I was just thinking of, but it is cheap enough to where it could be put into it without too much trouble. It just doesn't have much upside to it overall. Everything Pizza, 2-drop artifact food. When this artifact enters, search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle, and then if you pay lots of mana of all kinds of different colors, tap and sacrifice this artifact. Target player gains 3 life and draws a card. Each of your opponents discards a card, then this artifact deals 3 damage to any target. Put 3/1/1 counters on up to 1 target creature. So it does absolutely a ton of things, but it would be in a multicolor deck of all colors. Not extremely viable, in my opinion, at all. Mighty Mutanimals is a 4-drop in white, 2/1 Mutant Rebel. When this creature enters, create a 2/2 red mutant creature token. Alliance, whenever another creature you control enters, put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. I think this is pretty payable. You basically get 2/3 in power and toughness, multiple creatures, so you're definitely already getting an alliance trigger just off it entering itself. So that's actually what? It's not 2/3, it would be 4/3, which is now a 5/4 in power and toughness, and then if you have more creatures come in on top of that later, that's more 1/1 counters you get to dish out. So very, very nice, actually. This isn't bad at all. Got Hinchbot's 4-drop artifact creature robot. When this creature enters, exile target tapped creature an opponent controls. Until this creature leaves the battlefield, it is a 2/3 robot artifact creature. So it lets you get something off the battlefield that your opponent controls that is tapped, which isn't the worst, but it is only until it leaves. At 4 mana, that's pretty expensive, but it's a creature and a removal, so maybe that's interesting. We've got Metalhead, 5-drop 4/4 legendary artifact creature robot turtle. Whenever Metalhead enters, return up to 1 target artifact or creature to its owner's hand, pay 1 red, sacrifice another artifact, put a 1/1 counter on Metalhead. He gains menace and haste until end of turn. This is probably usable, but extremely expensive, so super late game. I think it's too slow for standard. Maybe would be a good late game win for draft. Leonardo, Leader in Blue, 1-drop white, 2/1 Mutant Ninja Turtle. Has Sneak for 5, which doesn't make a lot of sense. Let's read this. When Leonardo enters, if his Sneak cost was paid, creatures you control get +2/+0 until end of turn. You can pay 2, Leonardo gains first strike until end of turn. So you can use it as a pump your board type effect, which could be effective, but it's extremely expensive. So it's kind of in that combat trick realm or an early creature. The fact that it's usable late game or early game for its various uses, I actually think this is pretty good. You'd have to play around it quite a bit, I think. Karai, Future of the Foot, 3-drop in Azorius colors. Human Ninja is a 3/3 with Sneak for 4. Whenever Karai deals combat damage to a player, return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. If her Sneak cost was paid this turn, instead return that card to the battlefield. I like this card a lot. It reminds me of Arabella. The Sneak is a little bit more expensive, but even just getting stuff back to your hand could be extremely viable. So I could see this being really good in an Orzhov Aristocrat style deck, something along that. I like this card, though. I don't think it's bad at all. We've got Lessons from Life is a 4-drop in Simic colors. Sorcery, draw 3 cards. You may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. I think that's really good. If you're playing a ramp type deck, this is already pretty decent. Could help you get land out faster. Gets you card draw at the same time too. Going to be good in draft, maybe even usable in standard. So yeah, not a bad card at all. I would definitely pick it up for a draft situation for sure. Got our next batch of rares here. Raphael's Technique is a 6-drop with a sneak of 3. Each player may discard their hand and draw 7 cards. I've been seeing this be actually a really good in like Rakdos discard, things like Monument to Endurance, as well as I think it's Wrath and Rude. Yeah, really good card. Not sad to see it at all. Another Renee or Renette. Wild card, Splinter's Technique, Splinter Radical Rat. Let's see this one. This one's new. Madam Null Power Broker, 3-drop Demon Advisor. So we got a new demon for 3. Death Touch 1/3. It is a legendary. Whenever another creature you control enters, you may pay life equal to its power. If you do, put that many 1/1 counters on it. Oh, that's crazy. This could be a really fun card for a demon-oriented deck. So I actually like this. Mikey and Dawn Party Planners, Simic colors, 4 mana, 3/3, legendary creature, Mutant Ninja Turtle, Ward 2, which is pretty good, especially for 4 mana. You may look at the top card of your library anytime. You may play lands and cast Mutant Ninja or Turtle cards from the top of your library. If you cast a creature spell this way, that creature enters with an additional 1/1 counter on it. So this is really good. It just lets you basically play with the top of your library at all times. It has ward, so it's hard to get rid of. It's only a 4 mana cost, which isn't too expensive. Yeah, this is a really good card, especially in potentially like a landfall deck. And this is green or blue with the Simic colors, so you could put it in mono green as well. We did get a Kitsune's Technique, which is fantastic. I just need 3 more now. I will go ahead and read it too. It is a 6-drop. Target opponent mills half their library rounded up. Or you can sneak it in for 2, which is silly, because this can make you able to win by mill on turn 4, I think at the earliest, which speeds it up considerably from like the turn 6, turn 7 that it is currently. Got another rare here, Casey Jones Vigilante, legendary creature, human berserker. When Casey Jones enters, draw 3 cards. At the beginning of your next upkeep, discard 3 cards at random. I've seen this card be very heavily used in that Rakdos discard deck as well, with like Raphael's Technique, Wrath and Rude. So yeah, cool get. And then we've got a mythic here as well, The Last Ronin. I saw this used in a draft during the pre-release, and I actually think it's a really cool card. It's essentially like a Sozin, like the mono black Sozin we got during the Avatar The Last Airbender set. It destroys all creatures on entry, and then a little bit different, but mill 4 cards. When you do, return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Whenever a creature you control attacks alone this turn, put 3 1/1 counters on it. It gains trample and lifelink and indestructible until end of turn. So very effective. Obviously, Sozin mainly lets you get rid of things from exiling on your opponent's library and then gives you the creature, but this is still very much in that realm, that same mana cost in Golgari, so it's actually a very fun card. Alright, we got 3 more of the regular turtle packs here, and then 3 more gold packs. I haven't opened any of those yet, but let's see what we've got in our last few turtle packs. Did get another rare wild card there, so that's nice. It doesn't look like I have any more commons or uncommons that are new. As far as the rares, we got another Raphael's Technique, another Ninja Teen, and then Turtles in Time. 7-drop? Yeah. Sorcery. Return all creatures to their owner's hands. Each player may shuffle their hand and graveyard into their library, and each player who does draws 7 cards. Exile Turtles in Time. So this is like a resets board, lets you shuffle your library graveyard back into the library, or your hand and graveyard back into the library. So probably a really good card for control-oriented decks. It will be frustrating to see for sure. I don't know that I would use it a lot particularly. And then finally our last 3 golden packs here. Let's see what we got. These are all rares or mythics. Just gonna flip them all. Some of these are not gonna be from the newest set. Let's see here. We got Mutagen Man Living Ooze. 2-drop and X in green. Legendary creature Ooze Mutant is a 2/3 creature with trample. Activated abilities of artifact tokens you control cost 1 less to activate. When Mutagen Man enters, create X mutagen tokens. Very, very interesting, actually. Because that basically means you get to use these mutagen tokens for free if it's out on the battlefield, and you can create an absolute ton of them if you want to. We did get another Ninja Teen. Turtle Power, this one's new. Enchantment, Flash, turtles you control get +2/+2 and 3 mana. Not bad, especially with Flash, could be usable. There's another new one, Southwind Avatar. It is a 4-drop 3/4 Snake Spirit Avatar with Death Touch. Whenever another creature you control dies, you gain life equal to its toughness. Whenever you gain life, each opponent loses 1 life, so that could be really crazy. Got another Casey Jones here, another Renee. We got Armagon Future Snake, an 8-drop 9/6 Shark Horror Mutant. It has Flash, and when it enters, destroy up to 3 target creatures. So a really big bomb, and it doesn't say when cast, so you could use this as a revival target very easily for any kind of a reanimator style deck where you just get this thing. It's a big creature and blows up your opponent's board. So interesting for sure. Very expensive to just hard cast, though, I will say that. Then we also have a Leonardo's Technique here. Sneak 2 or pay 4 for a sorcery. Return 1 or 2 target creature cards with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Not terrible. Yeah, you could put this in a like an Orzhov Aristocrat deck, something like that with Sephiroth, and still be able to get your Sephiroth back, since you can't get that with the Raise the Past. So yeah, pretty interesting altogether. I got some other good non-new cards that I've been needing for a while, like Agnikel, Sapling Nursery, stuff like that. So that's pretty cool too. That'll be it for the pack opening today either way. So really quick on that one this time because I didn't have as many packs to go through. But hopefully you guys had fun. Hopefully you got to see more or less all the cards that I got and my thoughts on them. Thank you for joining me, and hopefully I will see you again in my soon-to-come videos with decks from this set.